Hey guys, welcome back. This is Chad Riba again, here at the basement at 9452, giving you a little bit more behind the scenes on how we're able to take and record and bring music to you for the fans of Joe Car music. So, one of the things is you have to have an interface to record with to get the music from your instrument into software anymore. Now, big studios, they have different boards, they have different recorders and things like that. But for the people that are making music at home, things are very simplified of you have something that you're playing, either a piano, a bass, some type of horn. In my case, it's always guitar. And so a few years ago, I stumbled upon using an interface just to try to get some ideas down because I love to write solos for things, just any type of creative idea that comes into my head. I wanted to find a way to actually get that down so I didn't forget it. And so what I did is I bought an interface called a PreSonus Audio Box. And this is the interface that Joe uses. It costs about $100. It has 2 microphone inputs and instrument inputs, allows you to output that to speakers to listen to. And it also comes with Studio One Artist, which is $100 software within itself. So you get a lot into one package. And so what that interface looks like here is I have a bigger version of it here in a PreSonus 1810 USB. And what this does is has 4 inputs for instruments and mics on the front. It's got some additional ones on the back. And what it does is it plugs into my USB port on my computer, which is hidden behind my monitor here, which is actually a TV because it was cheaper to go get one of these from Best Buy than it was to go buy a computer monitor. Anyway, so you get your interface, you go in here, you register it with PreSonus. There are many different brands out there. There's Focusrite. There are a couple different other ones made by like Behringer and other audio companies out there that come with different digital audio workstations or DAW. And so mine, since it was made by PreSonus, comes with their software called Studio One. And that's what I have pulled up and downloaded and running here in the background here. So we have our interface. We're able to take and open this up, and then you can either click on create a new song and start a new project, or I'll go ahead and open up one here that we've been working on right now, and that's California Dreamin'. And so this is a song that Joe has been putting out on some of his videos recently, and something we've been working on as well too. So right now my workstation is loading up. Takes a while because we have a lot of what's called plugins that are placed on here that allow us to alter the sound of our tracks to clean the sounds up as well too. And so on the screen here, I have a lot of different signals that we're seeing of things we recorded. So we have vocals, vocal harmonies, a couple different cuts of the same vocal to add some texture to the background with this. I also have Joe create some alternating vocals so we can pan things left and right so you as the listener can take and hear different types of audioscapes coming to you so the music doesn't stay kind of dull. So we've got that, and then we can layer different guitar tracks here. So acoustic, we have 3 electrics. I've got 3 solo tracks. Basically I cut these in different tracks just so I continue to just so I can go in and just take a take here, and just kind of come up with things until I like what I'm listening to. And so then I also have our bass track. I have a keyboard track in here that I'll get to that here in a bit as well too. And then I have our drum track, which I was able to create through a new additional piece of software called Easy Drummer. I don't play drums. Joe, I don't know if he really plays drums or not, but we don't have a drum set lying around. And so one of the industry standards that's come to the forefront by a company called ToonTrack, and you can check them out at toontrack.com, TOONTRAC.com. They make programs like this to where they've recorded world-renowned drummers in kits in some of the most incredible studios across the world that give you the sounds and the dynamics of different drum kits, as well as they pull in some of the legendary engineers and mix engineers, sound engineers, and producers to help put this together to get you the sound so your songs sound as good as what's on the radio. So this allows me to use a MIDI keyboard, and I can take and just usually either use that or use the mouse to take and click on this and get my drums, and there we go, the speakers decide to open up, get my drum sounds and things like that. And I'm able to use this to take and program the drums you're hearing on Joe Carr Music. So let's quickly see, how do we actually record something here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a track here. I'm just going to call this track Chad. And so it's showing up here. Go ahead and move it down to the bottom just so I know this is a non-standard track. What I'm going to do is take and grab a guitar right now. I'm going to go with this Les Paul that I've got loaded with Seymour Duncan / Alnico 2 Pro pickups. So if you're wondering where I'm getting my tone at, big fan of the Seymour Duncans. Those in DiMarzio, can't beat them. So all I do is I plug my guitar in, and I take this cable and I plug it into one of the interface ports right on my digital interface. And so now I go to my track, and what I need to do now is just enable that. And so I'm going to hit this record, and we can hear the guitar being strummed. So we have a green meter that's moving here to see the input. And so what we're doing for every one of our tracks, whether it's guitar, whether we're putting a mic in to sing in here, we're going to set our gain input here. And you want it maybe about halfway up. That way you give yourself enough headroom. That way you can make things louder if you need to, make things lower, but you want to get a good clean signal. This is something that we ran into when we were recording Angel as well as Hear You Callin', to where we were learning how to set gain levels, and we spent a lot of time going in, readjusting the final signals, cleaning everything up, and it could have been prevented by setting our gain levels a lot better. And that is thanks to a lot of videos and things like that you can check out on recordingrevolution.com. Graham Cochran does a great job to tell people how they can do a lot of this stuff at home from years upon years of being an engineer, a producer in the industry. So I've got my guitar plugged in here, and you can also hear, hey, this is kind of, just got a clean signal. How are you guys getting all the different tones and things like that? Well, that's where a thing called plugins comes into play. And so these are basically applications that you can drag in onto your different tracks that will allow them to be adjusted. You can change the tone. So I'm going to use one that is one of my favorites that both Joe and I have been using, that we recently got turned on to, and it's called Bias Effects by a company called Positive Grid. So I'm going to pull this over in here, and then a window is going to come up. It's going to take a second to load, but you can see we've got an amp right here. And so now when I strum, you can hear that it's distorted. So I've got that pulled together, and that's one of the tones that we've used on California Dreamin' when we recorded some of this. And so I've got a couple that I'm going to take and use right now. I'm going to do something heavy just because I'm feeling very rock moodish right now. So let's go ahead and try to lay down a track with this tone that we've used. So all I need to do is take, and I've got this track activated. I've got my level set for my gain. All I need to do is pick a point in the song and then hit record. So let's go ahead and just start from the beginning. I'll just play a couple riffs around the track that we already have. so one of the things that you're hearing right now is a little bit of delay. And that's just because of the signal chain going from the guitar through the interface, through the computer, then to the speakers. But it's getting to the song quicker. So if we go back and take a listen to it now, when what we've pulled together, and there are different ways that you can get rid of that delay as well too. We're taking a listen to things now. A little sloppy, but you got to see the point of how we get tracks from our instruments, whether it's a mic or a bass, a guitar, a piano, or how to program drums into the tracks. And the nice thing about doing things digitally, I can go ahead and delete that because that sounds awful because my hands aren't warmed up right now. Neither is my mind for being creative. So that's it for right now. We'll be back with more here in another episode. Again, if you have any different ideas about, hey, how do you guys do this, or how do you guys do this, again, put it down in the comments, and we'll see you next time.